Hello and welcome to the Diamond Collection of the Modern Fundamentals of Ballroom collection of DVDs. We would like to show you the elements, first of all, in number 1 of ballroom dancing, forward, backward and sideways, and how this is really the most important aspect to begin with. Number 2, the basic building blocks of your dancing. If these are good, then you have a chance to really develop in your dancing. But without these working, then really it's very, very difficult to become very good dancers. Now the elements, there are not many, and in this DVD we're going to show you 3 major actions that are extremely important in order to become a good dancer. They are very simply the forward drive, and I will just show that. I will just show that as we go along. The forward drive, the backward stretch, and the sideways balance. And they are the 3 elements that you really do need to develop and master if you wish to become a very, very good dancer. Connected to this, we'll also be talking about posture, poise, and hold, and also the concept, introducing for the first time the concept of centre and dancing completely together. Ballroom dancing is unique, and that's one of the features. But the important thing here is to make sure you drive using this big hip muscle. This is really the point we're trying to make here, that the driving comes from the hip muscle, the big powerful muscle of the hip, and these muscles in the hips are the most powerful muscles in the body. And if you don't use them, what happens? You see this type of action, a weak takeoff, the hips have not moved anywhere, the centre of gravity has dropped, and usually the dancer ends up too much into between the feet, etc. Or sometimes you'll see maybe this position here, where the movement as a pendulum is too early. And you can see a lot of faults come from this one aspect. The actual drive must be the foremost thing that you must develop in your dancing. If we do it going this way, I'm working from this right leg now. The knee is flexed. The flexion is a preparation for the action. And then from there, it's an immediate drive through to the hip joint, right from the toe. And you can see there's 4 joints here working. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 joints are extremely important in making the action work, to make it look powerful and to make it work in balance. Now, as part of this, it's very important to understand that what you are actually moving. You're actually moving the 4 blocks of weight in the body. And so you've got the head is number 1 block, shoulders number 2, rib cage area number 3, and the hip area, the pelvis area, is the number 4 block. And those 4 blocks must be lined up. This is what you're really trying to do. So that here you can see with Anne's body line here, that centre of the head, the centre shoulder, and the centre of the hip are really very well lined up, and this allows the weight to move beautifully, to look beautiful in action, and also to balance very well. So the 4 blocks of weight, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's really your goal, is to move these blocks of weight in a way that will look good in a competition and also balance well. So going sideways here, my head is the number 1 block, shoulders, rib cage number 3, and number 4 is the pelvis. Now, I can just balance here on the ball of foot. There's a small springing action. It's a good little exercise to do. And as I move from the action we talked about just now, from the hip movement and the foot pressure, the 4 blocks of weight are trying to stay vertical. That's basically what you're trying to get in the structure of your own body. And often you will see things where, for instance, if I come in here, the 4 blocks of weight are out of position, for instance. Going here, they're out of position here maybe, or here. So these 4 blocks really control so much of your dancing in the element sections. And if they are wrong, then you have lots of trouble. I had a couple recently come for a lesson, and they did a feather step like this, something like that, and I said, "What are you trying to do?" And they said, "Well, we're trying to turn and sway, we're trying to make big shape." And I said, "Well, that's good, but you must get to the 4 block position first." And so this vertical movement here is really the key to all the other movements. If this is wrong, then trying to create more turn or more shape or more swing or more energy will be very, very difficult because it affects everything. So posture is controlling all these things. But the leg action is really the thing that moves you into the correct position. And the correct position at this moment is the forward drive, and the 4 blocks of weight should be lined up, and there should be a line through your head, through your body, through to that point, to the toe.
Prepare to make this driving action. As Richard said, he was suggesting that you roll to the ball of the foot with a small bounce. I also like to stress that the muscles around the bottom area, the top of the thighs and the low abdominal area can be used from that position. You can prepare your muscular support, which is vitally important when you are going to dance the drive element. Because what happens is, if I have the support through those muscles, when I do use the supporting knee and use gravity, which we will talk about a little bit later, then I'm able to support my 4 blocks of weight without losing the very important line and the very important forward curve that the lady must have. So it's important, once again, to use the muscular support from the base area of the body. So when I now relax the supporting knee to drive, you can see that I'm still able to keep the blocks of weight lined up because of the support I'm producing from the base.